Hi Moglets. Today we're raising Yaoyao. This will be a slightly different raising mode because I don't think we have almost any farming at all to do. Possibly a couple boss runs, but yeah, almost nothing. We have basically everything for her already. That is mostly due to the fact that she's a leeway character and she needed mostly old mats. There's 50 anyway. Third star, 60. Okay, so a little bit of farming is actually required. We do need to do 1 to 2 boss runs on the cube. Question is, will it be 1 or 2 runs? 1 run. So the farming is already over. 4th star and 70. One last thing to do is raise her talents. I don't think we're going to raise her basic at all. I don't think it's going to be important for her kit and what she's supposed to do. So let's just start with her elemental skill here. We should have plenty of books. As we raise the elemental skill, not only does the damage go up, but also the healing capabilities. Same with her burst as well. We can get her up to C2, and I think we will go ahead and get her up to C2 because I think that's a very achievable goal, even for free to play, especially because we're going to be getting a free one from this lantern rite that's currently going on. Though now that I think about it, if you don't summon on her banner at all, then you will just have that one from lantern rite and thus see 0. But whatever, her constellations don't change her too much. Now that she's raised, let's go ahead and do the talent and constellation overview. So while her normal attack is probably gonna be pretty useless, it does look pretty cool. I especially like the 2nd and 3rd hits in her 4-hit combo. Kinda reminds me of some form of martial arts, but I digress. Her charge attack is like almost every other polearm user. She just dashes forward. Yaoyao's elemental skill and thus pretty much her entire kit work a bit differently than I initially thought, and this is a little disappointing, but I'm gonna hold off judgments for now until I actually try her out. Basically, her elemental skill will throw out a little bunny dude, which then throws out radishes, and radishes can either hurt opponents while applying Dendro or heal your characters. This bunny will then decide who to throw the radishes to. If any characters on field are under 70% HP, then it'll throw it to a character. If they're above 70% HP, then it'll throw it to an enemy. If you are close enough to the enemy, then it should heal you and hurt the enemy at the same time regardless. At the time of speaking, I haven't really looked at the actual size of the AoE yet, so we'll take a look at that later. You can also have 2 of these out on the field at the same time. I'm not sure how that would work, as the cooldown is longer than the duration. And since we don't have a sacrificial spear, yeah, her burst is quite similar to her elemental skills. She will also summon these bunnies, but the healing and Dendro damage will be based off of the burst multiplier. She can have up to 3 of these on the field at the same time, and after doing burst, they can be summoned just by jumping until 3 of them are on the field. Yaoyao will also gain a 15% movement speed boost and 50% Dendro resistance. With her first passive here, Yaoyao herself can also throw these radishes every 0.6 seconds while she's sprinting, jumping, or running. And her final passive adds some healing over time when one of the radishes explode. Does not look like a ton of healing over time at 0.8% of her max HP every second for 5 seconds, but if you can get her HP pretty high, that could be solid. As for Constellation, C1 already sounds pretty good considering she's a 4-star. When the radishes explode and the character is close enough to get healed by them, they will also now get a 15% Dendro damage bonus and have 15 stamina restored. With her C2, while she's in burst mode, she can regain 3 energy every 0.8 seconds when one of the radishes hit an opponent. C4 can give her up to 120 elemental mastery depending on her HP after doing skill or burst. If my math is right, she'd need 40,000 HP to get the full 120 elemental mastery here. Her C6 makes every 3rd radish a mega radish, increasing the AoE, dealing more damage and healing more. This seems to only affect throwing mode, which is her elemental skill, so I guess it won't help her burst at all, which is kind of strange. It doesn't seem like a really good C6 for it being a C6 and all, but she could be a pretty good and consistent healer at C6, I guess. 7.5% of her max HP sounds pretty good actually. But yeah, let's go ahead and build her. As for weapon, there aren't a ton of good options for her. I'm probably gonna go Favonius, honestly. I mean, Staff of Homo, it gives her 20% extra HP, but as this is raising mode, I usually like to stick with a 4-star, so probably next best will be like Favonius, gives her some energy recharge, generates some extra particles, you know, she can do burst more often. All the other spears are definitely kind of like damage focused, and I don't feel like she's gonna do a lot of damage regardless of what I give her, so Favonius it is. As for artifacts, it kind of depends on how you're going to use her. As just a general healer and Dendro applicator, basically getting as much HP as possible would be best. Otherwise, in something like a Bloom or a Hyper Bloom team, I think Deepwood Memories would be quite good, as she can decrease the Dendro res by 30%. I'd say the only time you wouldn't use Deepwood Memories is when she'd be in like an Aggravate team, because then you don't really need Dendro resistance decrease, aka like main electro DPS. Currently my Nahida is in Deepwood Memories, so I could give this to Yaoyao and then possibly give Nahida Flower of Paradise Lost. Unfortunately, the Deepwood Memories I have currently is not gonna suit Yaoyao very well. Obviously would like to give her an HP Sands, and we don't have a ton to choose from here, but she will need some crit rate for Favonius, so let's try this one. Flat attack. Actually, the third stat doesn't really matter. Energy recharge got boosted. That's, I'd assume right now at least, that is probably gonna be one of her most important stats. Energy recharge again. Okay, it's not going too bad actually. Flat HP, well, I'll take it. And more flat HP. Gonna go and raise his plume. Unfortunately, just went to crit damage, the one stat we kind of don't want here. I would even take def, like, honestly, HP percent. Okay, we got an HP percent. Is getting saved. Let's go. Dev percent. And we did get a crit rate in there. All right. Let's just throw this plus 20 in this flower and hope for the best. Got a crit rate, which got boosted, it seems, but mostly flat def otherwise. You know, there's an HP percent there you could have gone to at least once. And we finally did get an HP percent. Circlet and Goblet's pretty hard since we don't have HP on either when it comes to Deepwood Memories. So I'm just gonna borrow Nahida's crit rate and go off piece for our HP Goblet. Yeah, so she's currently sitting at 26k HP. Would definitely like a little bit more than that, like 30k minimum, but since we don't have any HP percent circlets, I can't really do anything. Well, at least with our 60% crit rate, Favonia should be easy to proc. This video isn't about Nahida or the absolutely atrocious artifact system, so let's get back to Yaoyao. I'm essentially going to start her off in a Bloom team. We essentially get 80 extra Element Mastery because of Dendro Resonance here, so I guess that's one benefit over like Kokomi. But alright, now that she is pretty much built, not well by any stretch of the imagination, but this is what we have her in right now. I do want to see how much she can heal, so we're just going to throw that out and swap to our Yelan. She needs some healing. About 1,000 per proc, and it does proc pretty fast. Unfortunately, this team has a bunch of high HP units. Neela with 71k, Yelan with 39k. So her healing really isn't going to do much in this team. We also get like this 232 healing over time for 5 procs, I believe. Yeah, comes out to a little over 1,000. How far does that follow, I wonder though? Doesn't have a super long range actually. Our Nilu would actually need some healing, but I guess you're not moving around that much. I guess we can look at damage also just for fun. Yeah, as I thought, not a lot of damage, but the blooms are doing some pretty good damage. We were only doing blooms because there's like water around here. Of course, those blooms are going to be based off her Elements Mastery, so yeah, I didn't really build her with a bunch of Elements Mastery in mind, although I maybe should have. Well, let's just give Masanori a little look-see here, I suppose. We're gonna go ahead and do our burst, actually. Jump around, get those 3 on field, and then go ahead and go to Nahida. Are they gone already? Oh no, wait a minute. Do they just not last very long, or do they actually disappear when Yaoyao leaves the field? Would I just be using her elemental skill then? Because I know that stays. Why would the burst ones disappear? Let me take a look at that alone. So yeah, we have the 3 here now. Okay, yeah, I wasn't really aware of that. So, I mean, it does say that here in her talents, but I kind of thought the bunnies themselves would stay. Okay, so I guess she's definitely meant to stay on the field. I want to see how long those 3 last when she would be on the field. But if she's the one causing the blooms, I would definitely need to manage her Elements of Mastery and get that up. I mean, in this team, she would have 650 after everyone does all their stuff because there's a lot of Elements of Mastery like boosting going on in this team. Okay, so let's go ahead and do her burst. Just start jumping around. Oh, wow. They don't last very long anyway, especially considering it costs 80 energy and has a 20-second cooldown. Dude, no, it really only lasts 5 seconds. What the hell? It also says that in her talents, but I kind of figured it was something different because why would that only last 5 seconds? Like maybe the Dendro Res and the movement speed, but like also those little bunnies go away after 5 seconds? Maybe the amount of blooms that can happen, you know, in those 5 seconds would make it worth it, but we'll see. I would probably need to rebuild her though with more Elements Mastery if I really want to try and do something like that. Let's go back to Midnight Masanori. All right, here we go. Hopefully we can see some impressive stuff here. Let's go and do Nahida's burst. And we're also gonna do Nahida's E. And here we go, her burst. Get all these dudes jumping around. Sure, I'll throw the E out as well. Is anything happening? His first HP bar did go down pretty fast, but I don't know. It's probably not better than just using Nahida. Let me just try using the, okay, but now we don't have Yelan's burst anymore, which is pretty important. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm sure there are applications she'd be more useful in than this team. I guess I'm mainly disappointed because she's not like that great of a healer, but especially in this super high HP team, it's just definitely not enough. Let's try something besides Bloom, I guess. I guess it's also not super fair to call her a bad healer right now because she is level 70. She doesn't have quite the appropriate artifacts yet. While C6 would be a lot to ask to make them a decent healer, she probably could be quite a bit better at C6. I guess if you only need a small amount of Dendro application for like an aggravate Shogun or something, she can also provide some amount of healing, so she could be a good pick there. Obviously Nahida with her like big element mastery boosts and whatnot is just gonna be better. But if you don't have Nahida and you know want some healing, Yaoyao is an option. Let's just see how that works, I guess. I'm kind of hoping we can get a spread or an aggravate. We did get an aggravate, so that's cool. And you know, a little bit of healing in there as well. It's something, I guess. Her burst bunnies lasting 5 seconds is one thing, but why do they have to leave as soon as she swaps out? Even 7 seconds would have been all right, but 5? Nothing in her constellations helps with that either. If at least her burst healed everyone. Okay, where in the hell does it say that? Because it actually does heal everyone. Hold on. It does say it'll heal all nearby party members, but I figured that would be only characters out on the field. Plural would be in co-op, I guess only. But no, even in her bad build, it actually heals quite a lot. So let me damage my Zhongli here. He has 36k HP. Her elemental skill, however, only heals the one that is actually out on the field. And since her skill and burst are so similar, just like a upgraded version, I would say that's a very easy thing to overlook. All right, we're all at about half or lower HP now, and we're gonna take a look at that. Do keep in mind her pretty garbage build here. And yeah, at the end of the burst, everyone except Zhongli was fully healed. So that was actually a pretty good amount of healing in a short time. I am glad about that she can heal the entire team. Gives me a little bit more hope. I do wonder how much total healing it is though. So I'm just gonna do it out here without any other enemies, making sure we get, let's go ahead and try it again. Okay, so it's like, I don't know. It seems to be about 10k, at least in our current build, which again isn't great, but in a better build at level 90, maybe it can go to like 15, 20k, which should be enough for most teams. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, she is a Dendro healer. Not the best at either of those things, but yeah, if you need Dendro and healing in one slot, she's the only one that can do that. And unlike Kuki Shinobu, she can heal the entire team. Outside of that, I'm not really sure what to say. Hopefully, whenever God mode comes around, we'll have some additional thoughts. Of course, if you have any of your own, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. Leaving a like or subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed is always greatly appreciated as well. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time. Assuming Yaoyao would be with Nahida or some other, you know, Dendro damage dealer, I guess All Hate Them would also work. We would want to get the Paradise Lost set anyway. We were farming this domain quite a lot, so we should have some, but any good ones? That's the question. We have one really bad looking crit rate. I guess we'll try this one to start, but Nahida's signature weapon has Elemental Mastery on it, so it'll probably be a little hard getting the crit rate we need. We bumped it up to 18 and mostly just got flat attack. So that was cool. May as well finish it off at this point. Oh my god. More flat attack. So this one is absolute trash. This one does not look good at all either, but I think I would need crit rate over crit damage. This one just looked like it had more potential. 70 flat attack. Yeah, okay, this one seems to be even worse. Somehow, I didn't think that was even possible, but don't know if I should even bother getting it to 20. Oh my god, wow. I mean, looking at the substats, there's not much it could have gone to except Elemental Mastery there, which, you know, it could have, but not even once. Let's come back to that later. We do have 3 Dendro damage goblets as well. None of them are very good. Let's try this one. Flat attack was the hidden stat. Attack percent was the hidden stat. Actually not much better for Nahida. Damn, it really loves flat attack today. That's literally all I'm getting. Attack percent, element mastery, crit rate. Nope, let's just only go into flat attack all the time, every time. Unlock. Eventually something good has to happen, right? Oh, now it's flat def. Okay, I'm gonna give up on that one already. Hidden stat was crit rate, but it went into flat def this time like 3 times, so yeah. I can go ahead and give up on this one as well already. Here, just totally avoided crit damage. I think I can move on from here as well. Just HP. It's like really doesn't want to touch any of the crit stats ever. Yeah, cool. And that was it. I've gone through every single flower now that had any crit stat on it and raised them all. Didn't get one single roll into any crit stat, just more attack rolls, whatever, dude. Oh my God, wow, finally one crit roll out of like 80. Elements Mastery, at least it's something useful. This is my only Elements Mastery sans, which is atrocious. It looks like it hasn't been risen. Looks like it's +0, but whatever. Thanks for completely avoiding energy recharge and Elements Mastery, the only thing that would have. I don't think I've ever built a worse unit in my entire life. What am I supposed to do though? That was the best out of like 200 artifacts, so nice. Somehow though, she turned out not as bad as I thought. I mean, crit stats are pretty garbage, but we at least have some Elements of Mastery and I don't know, the bare minimum. This video isn't about Nahida or the absolutely atrocious artifact system, so let's get back to Yaoyao.